First and foremost, huge congratulations to my favorite bodybuilder, the Martian, Martin Fitzwater, now two-time Prague Pro champion. Last year, he dashed Chris Bumstead's open bodybuilding dreams. And this year, he held down, just in magnificent way, his good friend and fellow sponsored athlete, Samson Dauda. Also, I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about Nick Walker firing Kyle Wilkes, and maybe also touch upon the whole cursing off of the fan. Now, right now, there is some atrocious rush hour traffic, and I'm not looking at you. I'm pulling a Jerry Ward. May he rest in peace. I love you, Jerry. Jerry did this all the freaking time and had no accidents and no tickets. And I mean, you don't believe me? Look, like, I'm not like actively driving and talking. Even if I'm looking at the road, I'm like stuck. Anyways, so I wrote a lengthy post on Thursday or like 2 weeks ago, and I wrote an article for IronMag.com. Big mistake for Samson to compete in a non-Big Three show. Actually, my article is out right now at Iron Mag, I believe. I believe it got published last night, like right after the results were posted. I said, if you're going to come back, you come back to a Big Three show. Olympia, Arnold, New York Pro. Now, with the Pittsburgh Open now doing bodybuilding, I think that a case can be made for that to be the fourth, the Big Four. Kind of like Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax. So, something like that, fine. There are shows that also have big prize money, like the Dubai Pro. But I would not put, in other words, prize money alone does not get you into the category of the Big Three. The New York Pro, former Night of Champions, the Arnold Classic, and the Olympia, that's the pecking order. That's life. That's bodybuilding, right? So if you just lost the Olympia, and I would compare Samson's loss of the Olympia to Big Rami's. And I think it's exclusive to Big Rami's only. It's Dexter, even when he lost it, took third, but to lose it and take fourth, or in Rami's case, fifth, that's not good. And what did Rami do after he lost it? Well, he went and competed at the Arnold Classic. So he went from the first biggest show to the second. He didn't go compete in the Mr. Maple Street. And then what did Hadi do? Hadi went, so the Arnold, in my opinion, for Big Rami was the deciding factor, not of, his redemption at that point, but of his retirement. He hasn't competed ever since. And Hadi did the same thing, went to the Arnold Classic, only Hadi won. And that, brought about his comeback. And a lot of people believe that he should have won the Olympia. He didn't, but hey, Hadi had a phenomenal year and was in perfect position, just like, Hadi did win the Arnold, and Hadi, that was last year. But it doesn't matter. He lost the Olympia. They both went to the Arnold. But to go to the Prague, in my opinion, was just a misstep. And I wrote about it, and I implored Samson, don't do it. Now, I'm just a fan, but he did it, and he took second to Martin. So he did it, and now he can't say the Olympia was a fluke because the guy that he should not have placed ahead of that he did just placed ahead of him in the Prague Pro. And what's wild is that Samson looked better at the Prague Pro than he did at the Olympia and still lost because Martin improved. And the reality of the matter is that now I feel like he needs to stop competing. He needs to hunker down. And unfortunately, you can't fix stupid. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's got a very high intellect. I'm sure that he's maybe a rocket scientist. But when it comes to bodybuilding, the dude is stupid. Because now his legacy it's totally shot. Because he took second at a non-Big Three show against the guy that beat him at the Olympia 2 weeks ago. It's a really bad look. And you also can't forget the fact that he lost the Arnold Classic to Derek Lunsford. What defending Mr. Olympia that just won the Mr. Olympia goes and tries his luck at the second biggest bodybuilding show? To a lot of fans, the Arnold is the biggest bodybuilding show. It's not, but I'm just saying, it's a big show. You can't fix stupid. And the thing is, I can only imagine what kind of advice he's getting, because if he appears to be as stupid to me as he does, the advice can't be much better, unless he's like totally ignoring it, which I highly doubt. You are a phenomenal bodybuilder. You have the structure that a guy like Nick Walker dreams of and can't have. And look at what you're doing with your career. Stop being stupid. And, you know, you need to hire a major coach that's going to give it to you straight. That's going to say, why are you doing the Prague Pro? You are a former Mr. Olympia. And I don't think you have that. But, and anyways, enough about Samson. I'm so proud of Martin. Martin is doing such a phenomenal job. His star is shooting up. And listen, you look at Martin Fitzwater, complete physique, beautiful lines. I mean, he knows how to hit the poses. He's got like that kind of classic air to him that I really like. He's going to be Mr. Olympia. He's going to be Mr. Olympia. You know, he looks so much more beautiful than Hadi Chupon, who's not really all that great to look at. And Derek, unfortunately, has no biceps, has weak pecs. He deserves the win, though. It's not a pec contest and it's not a bicep contest, but, you know, neither of those like ankle biters can touch Martin. And the reality of the matter is unless Samson gets his act together, Samson's not going to be in that top 6. Nick Walker shouldn't have been in that top 6. Quite frankly, Brandon got screwed a little bit, or a lot. And Andrew jacked. I mean, you know, it might be a Martin and Andrew show, provided, you know, Andrew drops all the shenanigans, because I'm telling you, those judges, they do not want to remind the bodybuilder that he's not at a guest posing appearance. And I'm not going to play that down, because even Big Steve liked my reel. And so I'm going to be honest with you. They're there to take care of the business of scoring a show. Their job, they've got their work cut out for themselves. They're judging the best physiques on the planet. The less that they have to worry about, to quote Kai Green, which ironically, he's one of the reasons that their work was interrupted back in 2014. But Kai used to love saying the minutia of it all. And the minutia of it all, ironically, is what Kai was doing with Phil, elbowing each other. And the minutia of it is Andrew jacked, having to be told multiple times to stop acting the clown and, you know, let them do their job. And so the thing is, those minutia details distract the judges, and that pisses them off. Now, could they judge you down for that? I don't know. But I wouldn't want the people that are judging me at the most important show in the world to be pissed off at me. Like, that's like stupid. You know? A lot of stupidity on this video today. And it's not coming from me, and it's not coming from you. It's coming about the people we're talking about. But anyways, it might be a Martin and Andrew show moving forward. And Andrew is just such a good sport. In victory and defeat, the only person that he's had to be not so pleasant with is Nick Walker, and that's because Nick Walker's an asshole, who we're going to talk about next. So here's the thing that I think we could talk about, the Nick Walker situation. And by the way, all of this is brought to you courtesy of Muscle Gels, MUSCLEGELZ, musclegels.com. They have topicals. They've got some phenomenal products. You will feel better. You will train better. You will cut better. All of these things. Go to musclegels.com. And also, log on and join anabolicsteroidforums.com today. Whether you're a natty or you're enhanced, if you sign up, you can talk about it all. And I'm going to tell you something. I've met some natties along the way. I don't know if they do it because they like the studying of it all, or they like to just sound like they're juiced to the gills when in reality they're not, and God bless them for not being, because that stuff, everything has a side effect. Whether you do it in moderation or not, there are no free lunches. But in any event, you can talk about it all at anabolicsteroidforums.com, so make sure to log on to them. They are both my sponsors, and I love them very much. I want to talk about Nick Walker. Okay, so Nick Walker fires Kyle Wilkes, who apparently he had done wrong a few years ago, and I wasn't aware of that, but I became aware of that because of a video I saw at Ivan Bodybuilding. And for some reason, you know, I think Kyle felt that he was going to take a chance on this guy again. I think maybe they had a friendship in the past. You always say, don't get into business with significant others, family, or friends. Don't buy cars from them. Don't work with them. Don't loan them money. Did I say that already? Don't loan them money. It never works out. But I guess he took a chance on him. So, and also the guy takes full responsibility for the Olympia placing, which I think it's mighty big of him, because that's assuming that Nick Walker followed his protocols to the T. That's assuming that Nick Walker didn't cheat on his diet. That's assuming a lot of things. And I think that Kyle doing that is big of him. But I also think, and here's my take, guys, I also think that it is big of him, but it also coddles Nick Walker. And I think that Nick Walker is somebody that requires being coddled, and I think that's not a good look. And here's the thing: the way that he fires him, he unfollows him and removes him from his followers, and then he just tells him it's not going to work out. No explanations, nothing. And I don't even know how they have an arrangement, like, with regards to the Olympia winnings, because even though he got, 6th place, he still has winnings. I don't know how they're going to cut that up. I don't know if Nick owes him money. I don't know how that's all going to work. But to unfriend somebody, that's how you find out that the relationship is over. I mean, that's like pretty juvenile. And speaking of Ivan Bodybuilding, not Ivan Bodybuilding, what's the podcast that they've got? The Unracked podcast. On the Unracked podcast, I believe that Kyle had made some remarks that Nick is very immature in how he acts and almost childlike. And he used the word childlike. I remember that. So, to me, that is a very childlike way to fire somebody. And it makes me further believe what I already believe, that Nick Walker flipped off those fans. And whether his mom was next to him or not, because it's like Mama Walker would never allow that. I think Mama Walker has allowed a lot worse, because it sounds like you're a man-child. And no offense, I mean, I don't think you've done anything like horrible or anything, but like curse off or, flip off, curse out some fans. Yeah. And I think you do it right in front of your mom. You know what I mean? And so, to me, Nick Walker is never going to be Mr. Olympia. Oh, and he was also apparently upset at his Pittsburgh Pro look. Nick is not stupid. I think Nick is crazy. Maybe he's a little stupid too. I don't know. I mean, the Pittsburgh Pro look is the best Nick Walker we will ever see. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. I'm gonna go ahead and say that, because he's not gonna look better. But even if he did, something else needs to be said. But by the way, he's not gonna look better than Pittsburgh Pro. I let this comment age, and you tell me if I was wrong. But in any event, Nick Walker will never be Mr. Olympia. So he can, get back with Matt. He can make up with Kyle. He can work with Hani. He can work with whoever. He's not even Mr. Olympia, and he shouldn't be Mr. Olympia, because he's got horrible aesthetics and he has an ugly physique. And that sounds like a really, really horrible thing to say about another human being. It probably makes me out to be just the most superficial person on the planet. But bodybuilding is a subjective sport based on your outward appearance. And based on Nick's outward appearance, based on his structure, his physique, his aesthetics or lack thereof, I do not believe he should ever be Mr. Olympia. In any event, guys, thanks for listening. I didn't realize I was going to do like 13 and a half minutes, but hey, I love this, bro. I love this. I don't love that pickup truck. Oh, God damn it. Excuse me, Lord. I love you. I love you. But anyways, I thought I was going to get a free lunch here. I thought this lane was going to be magically open, and it's not. There's a cop. I got to go. Peace out. Bye.